Hello everyone, myself Padman Baria, and in this video we are going to see application of AI in manufacturing. In modern time we use AI in many fields like AI in market, in banking, in finance, AI in healthcare. We even use AI in chat boxes like if you see example Amazon Echo which converts human language into desirable actions. So in this video we will discuss about use of AI for deciding in manufacturing. So what should one manufacture? AI helps in finding out our product which we should be manufacturing so that we can have maximum profit and consumers are satisfied. For whom, at what price point and with what process. Use of AI is much more and very helpful in finding for whom we are manufacturing product and who are our target consumers and at which price they are happy to buy our products and the process at which we are producing our manufacturing our product. How should the product be maintained so that life cycle is increased of our products and it is not more damaged with the time. How does one reduce wastage? So there is we can see that there is a huge amount of wastages in the manufacturing plants, so we can use AI in finding out how we can reduce the wastage or how we can use the reuse the things again and again so that our wastage is minimized, or we can how we can recycle the things and can reuse them. So how can we bundle services with it and increase service quality so that we can use AI in finding out how we can provide service additional to our products to the consumer so that they are happy in getting the services with the products, and also we are getting the profit from providing the additional service to our consumers. Now we will see the application area of AI in manufacturing. First is process monitoring. AI is used in monitoring the process of manufacturing so that if a problem or a bug comes, it can catch it as soon as possible. Second is diagnostic and prognostics. We use AI to find out the outcomes of our actions or treatments and identify the problem and remember to not repeat them if they are not desirable. Third is process planning or scheduling. We will see the planning in our upcoming slides. Third is adaptive control. So AI helps the controller to control the system. Fifth is optimization. So we use AI helps in optimizing the optimization in the process. Like we want to maximize or minimize anything, like if we want to maximize the productivity or something else, so optimization helps in that way. Sixth is robotics. So robotics helps in artificial labor, like if we want to if we want help in transporting some goods or something, so in that case robotics helps us. Last is quality assessment. AI helps in checking the quality and make changes for better quality if needed. Now we will see planning. So here we take example of robots which transport the blocks by picking from one place to shifting to some another place. So representation of our state is on table A, on table B. Block A, this means block A and block B are on table. This is our initial. So action, name pickup block report. So here block will pick up, sorry, robot will pick up any block. So to pick up any block, these are the preconditions that should be true. Clear block. Block should be clear. In that case only robot will able to pick up the block. Arm empty robot. Robot arm should be empty. On table block. Block should be on table. Now after robot have blocks, it will be holding. So let R1 robot hand is holding block A. So holding block A, R1 robot. Now after holding, A will be now not be clear. So we need to delete this. Clear. Let's take where R1 is holding block A. So we'll clear the A. Also now robot arm will not be empty. So after holding arm empty robot will also be deleted.
Hello friend, I am Abhishek Mukherjee. My roll number is 208091R05. My friend Pradhuman told up to previous slide. I am recapitulating this slide again, and then I will continue from next slide. So this slide is about planning. So what we have to plan, that we have a initial state A and B, two blocks on the table, and we have to pick A by a robotic arm and we have to stack it on B. So this is my goal and I have to do that by planning. So representation of state, as you can see, that is on table, that means A is on table and B is on table, and I have two blocks A and B. I have actions for robotic arm, that I have to pick up a block by a robot, and I have two robots A and B, and I have two blocks A and B. So I have to select one robot and one block so that the robot can pick up the block. That is the action I have to take, and for taking the action I have a precondition that the block should be clear. That means if suppose here is A above B, that means B is not clear but A is clear. So from here, as you can see, the robotic arm can pick up A, and if the robotic arm have to pick up B, then he have to take A first, because A is clear here and B is not clear. So first I have to check that the block is clear or not, and as well as the robot arm should be empty, and as well as the block should be on table. After this I have to add that after picking up the block, the robot should hold the block. So which robot is holding which block I have to choose. So I have to add this, and after this we have to check that if the block is clear and robot arm is empty, we have to delete the action. So this is my states, and this is moves we have to take to according to the plan. Now we will go to next part, the whole planning. Here as you can see, the goal state is A should be on B, that is on AB. The state is generated by on AB, and the initial state, that A is clear, B is clear, A is on table, B is on table, robot arm R1 is empty and robot arm R2 is empty. So from here we can generate that if A is clear and if A is clear and A is on table and robot R1 is empty, then from these three we can generate that robot R1 is picking up the block A. Okay. Similarly, if B is clear uh, on table B and R1 is clear, then from here we can generate pickup B. R2 is picking up B block. Similarly, we can generate R1 arm is picking up block B, and R2 arm is picking up block A. So from here we can see that uh, one block cannot be picked up by two arm, because here it is shown that R2 arm is picking up block B and R1 arm is picking up block B. So it is not possible, though these two are negates of each other. So these are mutually exclusive event shown by this arrow, bidirectional arrow. Similarly, pick up AR1 and pick up AR2, those are also mutually exclusive event. So from here we go to next level, that pick up AR1. If R1 is picking up A, then what can it do? It can place the A on the table. It can hold A, else after place it on table, the arm will be empty. So these three results will be generated after picking up a block by a robotic arm. Similarly, for all this state it will happen. So from here these results are generated in level 1. So from here we can do that if holding AR1 and holding AR2, as persistence actions happen, holding AR2, those one block cannot be holded by two arm. So these are mutually exclusive event showing by this bidirectional arrow. Okay. Now what option it have now after holding? So after holding, it can stack A on B, and R2 also can stack A on B, because it is taking A and B is on table also. So this is my goal state, and we reach A on B. Otherwise it can do that, it can put down A, it can put down A by R2 also. So these are not my desired state, so we discard or delete them, as you can see the delete function in the previous slide. So basically this is my planning we can do to reach a state that there is two block here, A and B, and we will place it one above another, A and B. Here the previous state was, initial state was, here's A and B. I have two robotic arm, I have to take one block and place it over another. So to reach from initial state to final state, we have to do this kind of planning. Okay, so this is a very important sector in mechanical actually. We have to do planning accordingly to minimize the time, to minimize the cost, and to organize the movement of the robots. It is very necessary to do appropriate planning. So now another important application of AI in manufacturing, that is process monitoring. Let us take machining process as example. Suppose I have this kind of plate, and I have to round up the edge, so I have to do milling for this. So during machining it is possible to detect the tool wear, and that means during machining the material of the cutting tool will be lost. So to detect that after a certain time the tool will be harmful for workpiece or not, real time monitoring will be very helpful. So here as you can see the machining process is going on, and various process parameters are detected by sensors. The sensors are placed at different spaces, different positions of the machines, and those are acoustic emissions, force, vibration, current sensor, power sensors, and we also can take some images. So from here we can get some signal processing, statistical analysis, Fourier analysis, wavelet analysis, time series analysis, or amplitude analysis, and from where some features are extracted. Those according to the features, the situation of the cutting tool or situation of any component of the system will be classified by some AI techniques, that is neural network, adaptive neuro-fuzzy interface system, support vector machine, hidden Markov model, and also clustering. Clustering is a very important and very traditional tool for this classifier, and from where we can detect tool wear, or is there any chipping or breakage, or it is how many time after how much time it will fail, or is there any chatter. So briefly we can say that in process monitoring AI takes a vital part. Later on we will see. So this is another application of AI in manufacturing sector, that is complexity analysis. What is complexity analysis? Suppose I have a initial state of a block. I have a blank that looks like this, and after certain period, after some machining operations, I have to get a product like this. So as you can see, you have to make this from this. You have to make this from this. So as you can see, if you do this operation first, so there will be a clamping, there will be a contradiction to clamp this device, because it will be clamped like on this surface. If this surface will be lost to get this kind of texture, so clamping will be contradicted. So that's why this slotting will be done very fast. Then after this slotting we will do these operations. So we have to set the set of operation will happen one after another. The sequence of the operations to get this product. So we have to fix this, and this is the complexity analysis, and then that's why the time complexity, you can see that time complexity and process complexity. So from here we can conclude that for complexity analysis the planning will be very helpful, and to do planning AI technique is very helpful actually. So here is the two learning methods, that is supervised and unsupervised. So what is supervised learning and what is unsupervised learning? As the name suggests, the unsupervised learning is a machine learning technique which do not need to supervise the model. When a child do not know anything, he do not know that fire can burn his skin or not. So either he can learn from his parents that fire is a dangerous thing, otherwise he can go to the fire, and either his skin will burn, and from the experience he can learn. So the learning by experience is unsupervised learning. There is no supervision of his parents. So this is kind of unsupervised learning. And supervised learning, the parent tell him that fire is a dangerous thing, and he will not go to the fire, near to the fire. So that is supervised learning. So unsupervised machine learning helps you to find all kind of unknown patterns in a data. So how we will see that? So let us consider a unsupervised learning methods, that is clustering. So how clustering works and what is actually clustering? Cluster is a set of data clubbed together. So clustering is a task of dividing the population of data points into a number of groups. Suppose we have several data of a parameter, and we want to classify them in many groups, and from the groups we can conclude that if new data comes, that data belongs to this group. So from like this, clustering is done. In simple word, the aim of the clustering is to segregate groups with similar traits and assign them into clusters. So how it is done, we will see. So this is visualization of clustering actually. So suppose I have here say a parameter f1, process parameter, and here in this axis the process parameter, that is f2. So we can see the unclustered data, and from here we are clustered this data, that these data are clustered here, these data are clustered like this, and these data are clustered like this. How these are clustered? There is a very popular algorithm, that is k-means algorithm. K-means algorithm. Okay, so what does it do? That it calculates the distance between two consecutive points, Euclidean distance, that is root under x square plus y square, or root under x1 minus x to the whole square plus y1 minus y to the whole square, and from which data the distance will be minimum. The data will be given to the cluster of known point from which the distance was measured. So if a unknown data is coming, the distance between all the data are calculated, and the minimum distance the minimum distance will be taking as a parameter to cluster the unknown data. So like this the clustering is done. So now it is a supervised learning model, that is neural network. A neural network is a series of algorithms that endeavors to recognize underlying relationship in a set of data through a process that mimics the way the human brain operates. Actually, a human brain consists of two things, that is axon and dendron. And axon is like this, and dendron is like this. Dendron has many parts, that is called dendrites, and these are taking inputs. Suppose I is denoted by input. Okay, so and axon is transferring the data to another neuron. Suppose this neuron 1, this is neuron 1, and this is neuron 2. So neuron 1 is taking input as I and transferring the output to another neuron, and the input to second neuron is conducted through another dendrite. So this way a brain neuron of our brain, human brain, works. And to mimic this, researchers provided neural network, that is a artificial neural network, and this is a very intelligent system to forecast or to classify the data. In this sense, neural network refers to a system of neurons, either organic or artificial in nature. So this is a typical neural network structure, and this is a multi-layer perceptron actually. And from here you can see that n number of inputs are given, and here is n number of outputs are there, and n number of inputs provide a input layer, and in between input layer and output layer there are n number of hidden layers. So these all are connected, and these all have some synaptic weights. And what is this? Because basically the weights or synaptic weights are generated by the algorithm, and through some randomized manner, and by these weights the outputs are calculated of this network, and the desired output and network provided output are uh, uh, subtracted, and the error is coming. By this error, to minimize the error, we have again changed the weights. So, this is a basically typical neural network, and it is called multi-layer perceptron. And by this, after a network is formed, uh, if someone gives unknown data to the input layer, it will give the corresponding output according to the form network, and it will very helpful system for monitoring the process parameters in these days, and it will be very helpful in future, I think so. Okay, this is all about the application of AI, I can say, in this assignment. So thank you all. Okay.